Welcome to this explainer. You know, we all have those goals that can sometimes feel just a little bit out of reach, right? Whether that's securing a huge promotion, finding your soulmate, or maybe just boosting your daily self-confidence. Well, today we're going to bridge the gap between just wishing for a life change and actually achieving it. We are diving deep to demystify the powerful 369 manifestation method, figuring out exactly why it creates real life changes and how you can harness it for yourself. Let's get into it.
So have you been searching for answers lately, or maybe just waiting for a sign? If you started noticing the sequence 369 pop up literally everywhere you look, I'm talking digital clocks, random store receipts, phone numbers, license plates, this is your invitation to just slow down and listen for a second. Spiritual guides actually suggest this is absolutely not a coincidence. It's a very specific message reminding you to trust yourself and stay hopeful, because honestly, sometimes the smallest pause can open the door to a completely new perspective.
Now here's where it gets wild. This concept isn't just some new internet trend. It actually traces all the way back to the legendary Serbian-American inventor Nikola Tesla. Tesla, the guy famed for inventing the remote control and alternating current, firmly believed that these specific numbers represented profound universal patterns in energy. Like when he studied circles, which have 360 degrees, and, hey, 3 plus 6 equals 9, he found that dividing them always resulted in a 3, 6, or 9. He believed these were not just math anomalies, but divine numbers fundamentally baked into nature itself.
Okay, so here is our roadmap for this explainer. We're going to cover the magic of 369, why 369, the science of manifestation, the classic journaling method, the daily alarm method, and finally we'll wrap up with tips for real-life changes.
First up, Section 1, the magic of 369.
Spiritual sources essentially treat seeing the sequence as a master activation code. When you combine 3, 6, and 9, something magical is said to happen. It could mean a cycle in your life is completing, maybe your spiritual awakening is accelerating, or you're just being called to find balance. Basically, it's a huge signal that you are in a phase of divine alignment, where your thoughts are rapidly turning into reality. The biggest takeaway here? You are being nudged to be super mindful of your thoughts, because your manifestation power is incredibly active right now.
Moving right along to Section 2. Why 369?
By focusing on these exact numbers, believers feel they're aligning themselves with core universal principles. Let's break it down. The number 3 represents creation, expression, and a direct link to the universe. 6? That stands for harmony, balance, and your own inner strength. And 9 symbolizes completion, profound wisdom, and letting go of all that negativity. Together, they form a complete energetic cycle. You're basically trying to tune your own internal frequency to match these universal principles to manifest what you want.
And this ties perfectly into a really fascinating theory from manifestation thought leader Abraham Hicks. You might be wondering why the number 17? Well, Hicks theorized that it takes exactly 17 seconds of pure, focused thought for the human brain to create the actual energy of that thought. If you just focus on the feeling of love or success or abundance for 17 straight seconds, your brain starts to generate more and more of that specific energy, physically aligning you with whatever you're claiming.
Which brings us to Section 3, the science of manifestation.
Because guys, manifestation isn't just magic, it is literal neuroscience. Right now, your brain is processing millions of bits of sensory data. To keep you from completely short-circuiting, you have a network at the base of your brain called a reticular activating system, or RAS. It acts like a bouncer, only letting through information it thinks is important to you. So by repeatedly reminding your brain of your goals using the 369 method, you are literally reprogramming your RAS. You're giving it new instructions to spot the exact opportunities, people, and resources you need, stuff you probably would have completely ignored otherwise.
It all boils down to this: repetition plus belief equals action. Through positive self-talk and really vivid visualization, this method builds up an incredibly high sense of self-efficacy. When we set an intention and translate it into an affirmation, we hack our brains to believe it's actually possible. And when we believe we can do something, we automatically start working toward it. You're channeling your energy into actions that inspire real, tangible changes. It's a totally self-fulfilling loop.
Let's get practical with Section 4, the classic journaling method.
Grab a physical journal and a pen. Seriously, writing by hand has so much power. First, craft your 17-second desire, usually about 2 sentences long. Write in the present tense, start with gratitude, use strong emotional words, and finish with "into my life." Something like, "I am so thankful for the universe aligning to attract my soulmate, bringing inner peace into my life." Got it? Good. Now write that exact sentence 3 times in the morning when you wake up. Then write it 6 times at midday to amplify that energy. Finally, write it 9 times right before bed to lock it in.
But here is the commitment. You've got to stick with this process consistently for exactly 33 days. Why 33? Well, 3 times 3 is 9, bringing us right back to our sacred numbers. As you write, truly visualize the emotion of your success. Feel it. And once you write it down, release it. Don't hold on to desperation. You just have to trust that divine timing is going to deliver the result when you're truly ready for it.
If carrying a journal isn't your vibe, check out Section 5, the daily alarm method.
So you have 2 really distinct options here. The journaling method is all about physically scripting one single goal all day. But the alarm method, that relies completely on digital reminders and mental focus. You choose 3 different things you want to manifest. Then, you set 6 alarms on your phone spread out over your day. Whenever an alarm goes off, pause whatever you're doing and mentally repeat each of those 3 desires 9 times in your head. It is such a powerful way to keep your goals top of mind and keep that RAS filter engaged, no matter how chaotic your day gets.
Finally, Section 6, Tips for Real-Life Changes.
Before we wrap up, we have to keep it grounded. Psychological research from sources like Verywell Mind points out that while manifestation is an incredible tool, it's absolutely not a magic wand that replaces hard work. In fact, studies warn that relying too much on magical thinking can lead to skipping the actual foundational work required for success or even making risky investments. It's so vital to use the 369 technique to channel your daily efforts and prime your brain for opportunities, not to skip the action part entirely. Speak in the present tense, feel the joy, but take those practical steps forward every single day.
Your mind is an incredibly powerful receiver. It is constantly filtering this vast, noisy world based entirely on what it thinks you care about most. So, drawing on the magic of Nikola Tesla's divine numbers and the hard biology of your own brain's reticular activating system, you now have the exact blueprint to rewire your focus. The only question left is, what are you going to train your brain to look for starting right now?